Why do you think it's black people that we tend to negotiate or ask for so low of a salary?
So this is perfect. This question is perfect for the timing because I was literally on Instagram this morning watching, one of those reels where the person is interviewing somebody just on the street and they go, "Oh, you're in so and so. How much do you make?" And the person shares what they make.
Mhm.
I'm a systems administrator.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for 5 years now.
What's your educational background? Like, what skills did you need for the job?
Well, I have an associate's degree,
Okay.
but I didn't have that when I started.
Nice.
I've gotten it since getting employed and with tuition reimbursement and everything.
How much do you make in your role?
I make 93K.
Do you feel well compensated?
I feel, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
And so there was a white lady interviewing a black man, and he was talking about how he's a system admin, and she asked, "How much do you make a year?" And he said 93,000. And so now my recruiter mind, for someone who makes offers, I went, okay, if you're starting out, I can see 93,000. I can even see 70 if you're just starting out.
Right.
If you got some years under you, that's when you go, okay, I'm hitting 125, 135, 150 and up. And so she asked if he was happy with his salary. And he paused, he shook his head, and he said, "I'm grateful." And I went, nope, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Because my recruiter ear said, "You are not grateful. You want more money."
Yep.
And so we don't ask for what we're worth because we are taught to be grateful for what we have. And I don't think that's fair. So in certain black communities, if you're on one side of a black community, if you make 80, you make good money. Like, you have made it. And on the other side of the black community, if you ain't hitting 130, you ain't making nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we ask for a lot less money because we are playing catch up. We're not privy to a certain lifestyle until we have seen it. And lately, tech has been the industry where we've seen a different type of lifestyle. What we are not paying attention to, though, is we're not paying attention to the money that comes from utilities, manufacturing, oil and gas, from a high level perspective, energy from a high level perspective. And so tech right now is sexy. Everybody wants to be in tech right now. Again, not paying attention to the other industries that really pay you good money. Black folk, we are taught that if we are not, like, very beginning of this, if we're not doctors and lawyers, it's not really a prestigious type of job or industry that you're in. And for us, is when you come from a city, if you work for the state, you got a good job. Like, I'm from Jersey, specifically Camden. So if you work for the city, or i.e. the county, you in a good job. If you work for the state, you're in a good job. And so we're not taught how to reach a little higher for a little bit more of a complicated role that makes our skill set very niche. And so I just feel like we're taught a little later in life. The STEM programs are available now. The STEM programs I didn't really know a lot about STEM when I was in school. So it's not a sexy thing to do, right? For me, when I grew up, it was, you play basketball, you play football, you were a good writer. You could do math, yes, but they didn't also teach us where math could take you. And so, if anything, it was, I want to go to college. I don't want to go to college. I want to go into a trade school. All of that is good. But the path to getting a really good salary and understanding where your money goes, I didn't really learn that until I got to my 30s. So I feel like we're taught late.
Yeah, I agree with all that. It's like, for me, I think I've witnessed money before. My uncle has a friend who's like, I think he's a millionaire, and he had one of those high paying occupations for, was it Merrill Lynch or something like that? It was, like, years ago. He's an Italian guy, but, like, I'm talking about, how we always talk about, they say something like, what people have on designer, but then, the people who are really rich and their designer is like dress clothes type of, like, really like $2,000 button down shirts and that you put on with your suits and like regular white shirt, like stuff like that. And I remember just seeing him like give his Escalades and stuff away. And I was like, okay, that's money. When you say, you know what, they not giving me what I want for it, I'm just gonna give me a new one and give my uncle a brand new Escalade barely used. Like, and after undergrad, 2014, I had a mentor at the time. He was working with, I think like DOD. He was retired from the Air Force, and he had some high paying job on there. He was saying, "Hey, for your first job, you need to be asking for, I think, 65 or $70,000." Now, I didn't really know what to be asking for. I just wanted to get a job. I didn't get that for my first job, but it was like you said, it's like you don't know what to ask for, and you really start figuring
Mhm.
out what to ask for once you, like you said, they're either late 20s. Sometimes, if you're lucky, early 20s, and you have the right network or right circle around
Yeah.
you, and that's why it's important. I started, one of my friends in my close circle, who's young, way young, like 10 years my junior, but he's like doing really good in this space, it's security. And he was telling me about the new offer he accepted. I was like really happy for him, and I just started thinking back to myself. I was like, this is what people mean when like you count like your closest people around you, what they're doing. Typically, you may start doing too, or everyone is going to be in a similar path of making like either a lot of money or a little money. You'll mostly see like a
Mhm.
group of, I hate to say it, but like I want to say broke people. Let's say people that's just not making a lot of money. Average people hanging around. Then you will have high achievers all being around each other. It's rarely, like you said, middle ground where you just got these other people that's just around people. I think it's like the ends of the spectrum. And that's one of the ways you figure out you're making money. Like we also see people who stay at companies too long. Most people who stay at companies too long are underpaid. The new person that comes in is making 20, $30,000 more than you. Because
Mhm.
if I'm not, and you can, I guess, correct me on this, because I remember this to be true from being at a company and you won actual bigger raise, but like due to HR, they can only give you like X amount, to where a lot of times you got to leave and come back to get whatever money you want.
Mhm.
I think you run into that too. It's like a lot of different
Mhm.
things. And we all, I'm from the
Happens.
South. So it's even worse in the South when you say about good jobs. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. People are typically nurses, firemen, or policemen. So if you're
Mhm.
a fireman or something like that, oh, you got a good job. I mean, like 5 days on, 5 days off, they really don't make that much money because they got so much free time. They work second jobs. But STEM, cybersecurity, networking, recruiting, what's that?
Mhm.
You don't see anything of that. You know, back home, if you in Shreveport making $80,000, you got it.